I'm your host, Sean MacKenzie. Thank you for joining me once again on my channel on data analytics and data engineering. In this episode, we return to our Python playlist, and we're going to take a look at how to do pie charts using Matplotlib. Now, you can do your pie charts quite easily in sort of one line with pandas, which we might show in another episode, but I thought it'd be neat to go and do it sort of manually with Matplotlib so that you can see all the mechanics that are happening in there. So without further ado, let's get to our pie charts in Python. Okay, so for today's example, we're using a similar file to what we used in our last episode where we did a stacked bar chart, and we're using this financials by quarter table that's in an Access database, and we're going to connect to that using ODBC. So to get started, we'll open our Python shell and just do a new file, and I'm going to save that as pychart.py, and then we can start. So we're going to import pyodbc as pyo, and we're going to import pandas as pd, and I have instructions on how to install both of those in previous episodes if you want to take a look. And also we'll import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and that's going to give us our plotting mechanism through Matplotlib. So what we're going to do here is we'll give some feedback to the user. So we'll say print getting data, just as if we were sort of writing a like a console application where we want some feedback. And then I'm going to grab my connection string. This is one that we've used many times before, where I've just pasted in our connection string to our Microsoft Access database, and I put that in the C dev folder just for simplicity. And then we can make our connection object, so we'll say CNN is equal to pyo.connect, and then we'll put our connection string as our argument, and then we'll print selecting, and that's going to give some feedback saying we're going into the database to get some data. And we'll make our SQL string. We're going to select everything from financials by quarter. We can use this SQL string in conjunction with our connection object up above in order to do a pyo.read SQL, and that's going to allow us to get our data. And so there you see we put in our SQL string and our connection object, and then that line is going to return a data frame from our Access database, and then we'll close our connection. Now make sure you close your connection before we move on to everything else, so that if there is some kind of error, you don't leave it open by mistake in the background, and that goes for any kind of database. So we can print connection closed, and then we'll move on, and we'll say that our data frame for the year, so df_year, is equal to the data frame we'll query, and we'll say where f year is equal to 2020. So we'll grab the 2020 year because we want to see how the districts are doing in 2020, and then we can go df_summary is equal to the df, and then we'll use group by, and we'll group by district, and then we'll put a sum on the end. So that's going to give us the sum amounts for each district, sort of rolled up into one data frame. And so from there, I'm just going to print this off and just hit F5. So we'll print df summary just to see what we're getting. So there we go, getting data, selecting, and connection closed. And there you go, there's our 3 districts, which are now rolled up. It actually summed all of the numeric columns. But the one that we want is the amount on the end there. So we're going to put that into a pie chart to show how each district is doing for 2020. And so what we can do from there is we're going to take the labels, and we're going to take that first column, district, and in this case we're just going to grab the index because we can't sort of call it by the column name. So we'll grab dfSummary.index, that first column. As you can see on the left there, it's actually a little bit, it's one row down from the column names because it's the index. And so that's going to be our labels, and then we'll put our sizes equal to the df underscore summary and the amount. So we're going to have two sets of data that we can plug into our pie chart. And we'll set our figure and our axis, and we'll set that equal to the subplots, plt.subplots. And then once we have those, we can set our axis, and we'll do a pie. So we'll do ax.pie, then we'll put our sizes in as the first argument, and then from there we can do some named arguments. So we'll say labels is equal to labels, which is the variable we created up above, and we'll do some shadow is equal to true, just to give it a little bit of style. And then we'll do a start angle is equal to 90, so that'll tilt it so it's vertical. And then we'll do an auto percentage, which will show on each of the pie slices, and we'll put in percent 1.1 f and then percent, and that's going to give us our pie with some data on it. And then we'll do ax.axis equal, and that's going to make sure that the pie is round. And then we'll do a y label on our plot, and we'll just say districts for 2020. And with that in there, we can do a plt.show, and that's going to show us our pie chart graphed out nicely. And there we go, we hit F5, and we should see our chart come up here, getting data, selecting, and there's our chart, which has popped up. And so you can see on our left axis, the y-axis, we've got districts for 2020, our A, B, and C districts, each with their own totals. So we've got A at 30.2, B at 53.7, and C at 16. And that's exactly what we wanted to see in our output. And we can also see that it's shaded, which is nice. But what if we wanted to, say, take a piece of pie out of there? And we can do that. We can push a piece of pie out to give it some emphasis. And we can use that by using the explode argument in our pie statement there. So we'll make a variable called explode, and then we know that there's 3 divisions, so we'll just say 0.1, 0, and 0 for the matching sort of explode elements. And then we'll put explode in there, and that'll set that equal to our explode variable, and that's gonna pop out one piece of pie, the first one, the A, and if we hit F5 and see that one come up, there we go. So there we've got A, which has been exploded out a little bit, and because we shaded it, you can see that it's got it looks nice when it's pulled out from the rest of the pie. So that's how you do pie charts in Python with Matplotlib. Hope you enjoyed today's episode on how to do pie charts in Python. If you like what you saw today, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet. And make sure to click the bell when you see the bell so that you'll be notified of any new content that I put up. If you have any questions or comments, please put those in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer any questions that you might have. Have a great day, have a safe day, and I'll catch you next time.